Today is Wednesday, January the 22nd, 1 week after Deb's surgery. We had a little bit of winter precipitation overnight. The temperature right now is 31 degrees. Fortunately, all of our winter preparations with the heated water hose and the new rigid sewer drainage system worked very well. Deb had a really nice long hot shower this morning. Go around over here. Fortunately, there's really no wind. I'm out here in a t-shirt. Of course, I hardly ever put a coat on until it gets below 30 degrees, unless if we got a lot of wind. It's supposed to do this all day. We were nice and comfortable in the trailer. Didn't even realize we had the precipitation until we woke up this morning and turned on the news and saw where there had been some accidents on 540 down by the tunnel which crosses the Boston Mountains on your way to Fort Smith from Fayetteville. Actually, it's kind of neat hearing the light rain falling right now. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but I can hear some birds singing off in the distance. It's pretty cool. Not my favorite kind of weather, but it's a great day to be alive, that's for sure. Okay, I'm going to go in and make Deb some breakfast, and then we'll have a little visit. What do you think? Be back in just a second. You sure look pretty this morning. You do.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, it's just been a week.
I know.
Yeah. Hey, this is Deb. Yeah. A week after her surgery. Yeah. And she's not going to talk very much because it is a little difficult. Plus, I guess we can go ahead and say that. You're only wearing the top part of your partials instead of the bottoms. I know. So she's not going to talk very much, but she can talk a little bit. She hasn't got to the point where she can scream and yell at me yet.
Nope.
And that's difficult, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, that's difficult. But anyway, she's doing pretty good. She still suffers some pain overnight. The nights are a little rough.
Yes.
And they did give her a prescription for some pain pills, and she's getting to where she doesn't have to take as much as she had to previously, of course, which is the whole idea, naturally. But sleeping at night is the worst. But that inexpensive Walmart wine really helps, doesn't it? Oh, don't say nothing about that. Anyway, we'll just make this kind of quick. And here again, I got to do most of the talking, and I know that does not please a lot of you out there. You'd much rather hear Deb talk, but
soon.
Soon?
Soon.
When will soon be now? Yeah, we don't know yet. But we did get a pathology report yesterday, and we're not going to go into detail about it yet until after we actually talk to the doctor. But based on what we read and the research we did to try to cipher what it was saying, and then we also talked to our daughter, who was a transcriptionist, a medical transcriptionist for 5 years. And when she gets into doing something, she really delves into it and learns as much as she possibly can. And she had transcribed several reports like this along with doctors' comments. And based on what she read, she told us that she thought it sounded pretty good. You know,
Right.
It appears that they got it all. It appears. But here
And
again.
non-invasive.
And non-invasive at this point.
Right.
Now, we know that it's going to have to be something that we will have to be aware of and always stay on top of course. And we are in the process of finding somebody that can at least realign her bottom partials, because we think that could be the culprit that started all this. We don't know for sure, but we feel that maybe that's the culprit right there. And we're trying to rack our brains to figure out, because the first question they asked her was, does she smoke? No, she's never smoked in her life. But she's doing good. She's my buddy. And I made her favorite breakfast this morning. I made it for her 2 or 3 days.
My first solid food.
And her first solid food, yeah. Her first solid food. She's been mostly doing the broth off of soups and things like that to get by, and eating a lot of Jell-O. But I tried making her oatmeal. She requested oatmeal about 3 or 4 days ago, and she couldn't do it. But I made oatmeal this morning, and you were able to eat the whole bowl with no problem.
Woo!
Yeah. And I make the best oatmeal, right?
Yes.
I make the best oatmeal, yeah. And why do I make the best oatmeal? I don't read the instructions.
You cook
Right.
it.
I cook it. Yeah. But we prefer old-fashioned oats. And when I'm pouring the oatmeal into the boiling water, I go by feel as I'm stirring it. And one of the key things that I like to do, which I've seen other folks not do, is they'll pour the oatmeal in, stir it a couple times, walk away, and then come back later. And I think in order to make sure that it cooks evenly and nice and fluffy to that perfect fluff on each flake, you got to stand there and stir it the whole time until it's ready. That's just all there is to it. Okay. Now, got down to 31 degrees. Actually, it got down to around 29 overnight. And we didn't even realize that we had the precipitation that we had until we watched the news this morning. And then we looked outside and wow, because when we woke up, we were snug as a bug in a rug and didn't even feel, and it's been that way. We've been in a whole lot colder temperatures than this in the conversion. We've been clear down to 9 degrees with a wind chill of -3. And that's when we learned all the things not to do.
Right.
And learn the right things to do. And so when we knew that we were going to end up spending the entire winter here in Northwest Arkansas, we made the preparations, and we did a video about that here a while back, as far as having the proper heated water hose, as far as making sure that the standpipe that comes out of the ground is heated as well with its own electrical tape. And then we'll also cut vents into the kitchen cabinet doors, because all of our plumbing runs from there all the way down to the far end of the trailer and back. So we cut ventilation holes in the cabinet doors, and the main reason why we did that is because of Delilah, and she's over there napping right now. Because of Delilah, if we left the cabinet doors open, Delilah would like to crawl in there, and then she finds a spot to hide under the bed, and then we have a heck of a time getting her out. So we cut ventilation holes in the cabinet doors and put grates over that to allow for circulation. And then we also, when it comes to really cold weather, even though our 1,000 watt in-wall heater that we have mounted in the front of the trailer will warm the trailer just fine, we found that it works better if we use this little gizmo here, which is just a little portable electric heater.
On the floor.
Yeah, and we use it on the floor on the other end of the trailer. We found that we can cut the in-wall heater in the front of the trailer down, and then we run this about medium or so.
And it has a thermostat.
And it has a thermostat on it, so it doesn't run constantly. It kicks on and off when the thermostat tells it to. We got that for a whopping $15, and it's probably one of the best investments for winter camping we've ever made. It's really, really nice, and even if it just lasts this one winter, I mean, $15,
Right.
So what? But it sure makes a difference, and what we usually do is set it on the floor on the kitchen end of the trailer, kind of sort of point it towards the, and I can't show you because I got the camera sitting here, but kind of point it sort of towards the ventilation grates that we have mounted in the cabinet doors, and that way it helps circulate warmer air in areas that warm air may not be able to get to because of where the plumbing is running. What's that? Oh, yeah. And then we found that, because we have a Max Air fan at the front of the trailer, and we used to keep it plugged up during cold times. We have an insulated cover that we can slip on over it. But we found, actually, since we added this other heater, that it works a whole lot better, because the neat thing about a Max Air fan, you can run it even with the shroud completely shut. And what happens then, it more or less turns into a recirculation fan. So when we have the heater going in the front, and then we have the little portable heater going in the back, and then we leave the Max Air fan running at low speed with the... Somebody's trying to call you. We have a Max Air fan running at low speed with the shroud closed. It really circulates the warm air in here really well. In addition to that, we've also found that it's cut way down on condensation, which we didn't have that much condensation in the first place, but it's even cut that way back, and the humidity levels are lower too as well. Like right now, we're at 55% humidity inside the trailer, and there have been times when we had the fan plugged up that our humidity levels would approach 80, 90%. So, it's really worked out good. It's something we just accidentally discovered that works well. So there you go. I don't know what else to talk about. We don't want to make this very long. So I will say one thing, and I can't show you Delilah right now. She's over here napping. But isn't it something how pets know when one of their parents have been through some trauma? And I'm going to flash this photo up here from the day when I brought her home, when I brought Deb home. And of course, the first thing I did was put her to bed. And you can see in this photo how she knew what was going on, and she snuggled right up with Deb and actually reached her little paw out.
She's my buddy.
Yeah, and gave her a little pat on the cheek to console her. Yeah, sure enough. Anyway, that's it. We just wanted to go through those brief little things right there. We'll talk more about when we actually talk to the doctor. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But we're not going to dwell on this with every video from this point out, are we? No. There's no reason to.
I'm tired of it. I'm done.
Tired of it. We're done. And, we've met a lot of folks and know of a lot of folks that, we've had a few little issues with health issues during this time that we ended up staying here, and which is a good thing that we did through the winter to get all this stuff taken care of. But man, there's a whole lot of folks out there that suffer a whole lot more than we have. So there's no reason for us to dwell on this. We'd rather think about the other folks that are suffering much, much more, that have a lot more problems, and that's the thing. Anyway, anything else? No. You look so pretty today. You know how it is when you wash your hair. It always gets me going. Yeah. We'll see you guys again soon. We got some more videos in store for you. Y'all take care. This is Bill and Deb with I Ride Tiny House Adventures, and we're saying we're not camping. Can you say it?
We're living.
We're living.